Pursued by Jimmy and Speed in an Army attack plane, Major Moto bailed out from his fighter and succeeded in eluding his pursuers. But under the direction of Sheriff Farrell, an intensive search was started for the Oriental pilot. Word was flashed that a character answering Moto's description was seen telephoning in a lonely interurban station nearby. Speed and Jimmy rushed there with the sheriff, but no trace of Moto was found. It is the following morning, and Jimmy and Speed are discussing the situation with Sheriff Farrell on the Olathe flying field.
Well, it certainly got me guessing, Sheriff. I was confident we'd have him by this time.
I thought so too, Robertson. But don't you worry. That bird's as good as in the cooler right now.
Well, I certainly hope you're right, Mr. Farrell. But don't you think he might have slipped past your men by now?
No, not a chance. Don't you boys worry. I'm telling you, when a Farrell starts out to get his man, he never misses.
What's your idea on where he's hiding out, Sheriff?
Well, I'll tell you. I was born and raised in this country, and I know it like a gopher knows his hole. That may take a little time, but we'll smoke him out.
You mean, Mr. Farrell, that he'll finally get hungry and have to come out and get something to eat, huh?
Sure, son, sure. That's just what I mean.
But I'll bet he'll have a good chance of escaping at nighttime, won't he?
You know, I think Jimmy's right, Sheriff. If we don't get Moto during the daylight, there'll be a swell chance he'll slip away when it gets dark.
Heck he will. I'll have that place surrounded.
But according to the map, that section's pretty large. It'd take thousands more men than we've got. All we have now is enough to watch the roads and a few extra ones for the spaces between them.
Well, I got a couple of thousand more joining the search this morning. This will be known as the greatest manhunt ever pulled off in these parts. And I'm the man in charge of it.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, Sheriff. We can't let this fella get away.
Another thing. Look at this county map here. Now, follow my finger. You see these different roads?
Uh-huh.
I see them, Sheriff.
Well, those roads form a complete ring around the stretch where this fellow's hiding. I'll have my men on guard every few yards, all the way around. The men should be taking their places now. We'll be starting in just a few minutes. Is the plane ready?
Yes, it's being refueled now. After Jimmy and I took off at daybreak this morning, we stayed up until our gas was almost gone. We'll do that again this time.
Well, how long can you stay up?
A little over 4 hours.
You didn't see a thing that looked suspicious when you were up this morning.
No, we didn't. But I'm telling you, we saw plenty of places where 100 men could hide. But tell me, Sheriff, what kind of reception did you get on our radio messages?
Okay. They came in clear as a bell.
Fine. And we're about all set?
Yep. Perkins ought to have all his men in position now.
Gee, it's certainly strange Mr. Russell hasn't come down from Kansas City yet. It's almost 9 o'clock now. Do you suppose he got your message, Speed?
Oh, I think so. He probably had a lot of things to attend to before he could get away.
That's the government Secret Service man you were telling me about last night, huh?
Yes, he is. He was working on this case in Kansas City.
Well, it doesn't make any difference to me whether he showed up or not. I'll get this fellow. Don't you ever worry about that. I know my own country better than any Secret Service agent.
Oh, you'll like Mr. Russell, Sheriff. He's really a fine fellow.
Oh, I don't doubt that. And I'll be glad to turn this Moto, or whatever his name is, over to him after the capture is made. But I want the credit for it.
Oh, I wonder who this is.
Looks like he's headed for this field.
What are you fellas talking about? I don't hear nothing. But then my ears are not as good as they used to be.
That's an airplane, Sheriff. Big transport. See? Over those trees at the north end of the field. Looks like he's going to sit down here.
He sure is. Hey, look. He's beginning to circle the field now.
Yeah, the pilot's looking the place over carefully. It isn't any too large for a big ship like that.
I wonder who it is.
Do you suppose he has anything to do with this business we're on?
I don't think so. There's been no publicity on it, and nobody knows anything except Mr. Russell and the people you've called.
Look. I think he's getting ready to come in, Speed.
Yeah, I believe you're right, Jim. He's landing a little bit crosswind, but it lets him use the longest runway. That's a smart thing to do.
I thought you should always land straight into the wind, Speed.
Ordinarily, that's the thing to do, Jimmy, but there's always exceptions to every rule, you know. Once in a while, especially in two-way fields, you have to land with a side wind in order to get down at all. And you can land with a stronger side wind in a heavy ship like a transport easier than you can in a smaller, lighter plane. Well, here she is. We'll see now what this is all about.
There's no markings on that ship at all, Speed, except its identification number.
I noticed that, Jimmy. I thought at first it might be one of our Grand National Airways ships, but it isn't.
Look, Speed, up in that pilot's compartment. That fellow at the controls. I'm sure I've seen him before.
Yeah, he does look familiar. Here comes someone out of the cabin door.
Hello there.
Howdy.
Are any of you fellas Speed Robertson and Jimmy Allen?
Yes, I'm Robertson. This is Jimmy Allen here.
Good. My name is Polkett. I'm a government agent. Here's my badge.
Okay.
Is Mr. Russell with you?
I know all about this moto case. I come down to see how you're getting along. A few of my men are with me.
Say, you fellas travel in style. I didn't know your department had any transports.
Oh, they've got 2 or 3. But tell me, how are you getting along? Have you gotten in touch with the local authorities?
Yes, we have. This is Sheriff Farrell of the local county right here. He's in charge of the search and doing a good job of it, too.
I'm glad to hear that. Glad to meet you, Sheriff. What are the developments up to date?
Well, this motor was seen a little after 2 o'clock this morning. There's a wooded stretch nearby. We've got it surrounded, and it won't take me long now to smoke him out.
Well, pardon me, Mr. Poquette, but isn't Mr. Russell with you?
Mr. Russell? Who the...
Why, you certainly must know Russell. He was working on this case in Kansas City.
Oh, Russell. I didn't get you at first. Sure. He's still working on the case. In fact, he's in charge of it. He's going to stay in Kansas City and direct operations there, while I'm down here helping you fellas.
Oh, I see. Well, we better get started. I see our ship's been refueled.
What's the next move?
Sheriff Farrell and his men are going to work on the ground while Jimmy and I see what we can do from the air.
Good. Suppose I go with Sheriff Farrell in his car while I have my men help you and Jimmy from the air on the transport. The more eyes, the better, you know.
Okay.
Oh, look, Sheriff. Here comes Deputy Perkins.
Yeah, I guess he's come to tell me that everything's all set.
Yeah, I think he must have something more important on his mind. Look at him barrel down that road.
He's sure moving, I'll say that for him.
Well, Perkins, what's up?
Well, sir, we got your man, Sheriff.
Yeah, well, where is he?
Well, you know Carl Smedley.
Sure I do. He has a farm next to Mace Pickett's, but what about it?
Well, he was out to his barn a little while ago, and he found this little Oriental hiding there. The foreigner took to the woods just like a scared jackrabbit. You know that stretch of second-growth timber, Sheriff, back of the Smedley place?
Sure, I know it. Well, I'll be hornswoggled. Hey, that's a good 2 miles from that Honeywell station.
Imagine his coming right back to the spot where he landed.
Yeah, and if Smedley hadn't run onto him, he'd have probably gotten away tonight.
Well, come on, let's go. How about the men, Pickens?
Well, I've sent out the word, Sheriff. By the time that stretch of second growth is surrounded, Cy Johnson's on his way with his pack of bloodhounds.
All right, we're off. Did you say you wanted to come with me, Mr. Poquette?
Oh, yes. I'll be with you in a second. Just as soon as I tell my men to take off and help Robertson and Allen from the air.
We'll be right over your head, Sheriff, in our plane. The instant we spot him, I'll radio you.
Good. Then we're all set.
All right, come on, Jimmy. Jump in that rear cockpit.
Okay, Speed. Feels good to get back in this plane.
Okay, Jimmy. I'm going to give her the gun. Are you all set?
All ready, Speed. Let's go.
Here we go.
We landed in, Speed. And there's the Pickett farmhouse.
Yeah, I see it, Jimmy. A few more hours of flying around here, and I'll know this country better than Sheriff Farrell.
That must be the Smedley farm down the road a bit, Speed. And those woods over there must be the ones Deputy Perkins was talking about.
Yeah, that's a stretch, all right. It's second growth, too.
Gee, there's a lot of undergrowth and thickets, too. You know, it'd be pretty easy for a man to hide out down there.
I know it, Jimmy, but thank heavens it's not anywhere near as large a place as that other stretch.
Oh, look, Speed. Look at those men down there. They're in a great big circle.
Yeah, I see, Jimmy. They're starting to come in toward the center. I think they'll sure get them this time.
Here comes the transport, Speed, right behind us.
Yeah, I see it, Jimmy. Okay, hold tight, kid. I'm going to dive down close to the ground and chase rabbits for a while. Keep your eyes peeled because we'll be going over that ground so fast you can hardly see it.
Okay.
Small space we've got to cover. I'll cock this ship up in a steep bank. That'll give you a better chance to watch the ground. I'll make sure we don't hit any of these treetops. I think your eyes are a good deal better than mine.
Hey, look out, Speed. Here comes that transport.
Great Scott, what's the matter with that joker? He pretty nearly clipped us that time. Brother, I wish he'd get out of here. There's not room for both of us anyway. A transport's no airplane for this kind of work.
Speed, that transport's banking and coming back toward us.
Why doesn't he go back and stay on the field? We're spending all of our time dodging him. We don't have any time to look for Moto.
Look at all the men at that window. They've got machine guns, Speed.
Yeah, they probably figure on shooting Moto from the air if they spot him. I don't think they'll have any luck.
Hey, that's funny.
What, Jim?
It looks as though they've got their guns pointed at us, Speed.
Ah, nonsense, kid.
Speed, I'm sure one of their guns shot at us.
Ah, Jimmy, you're wrong. It looks as though those men on the ground are just about to meet at the center, Jim. And they haven't got Moto yet.
Hey, look, Speed. Look down there.
Where, Jimmy?
Down in that gully.
Oh, yeah, I see it. I noticed it before, but the sheriff's men have already been through it, I think.
I know it, Speed, I know it, but look, up in that tall tree. Isn't there something moving there?
Just a second, Jimmy, while I pull this thing into a vertical bank.
I'm sure I see something, Speed. It looks like a man climbing down the tree trunk.
By George, it is a man, Jim. I bet Moto climbed up the top of that tree while the men went by underneath, and they never noticed him. Where's the sheriff's car?
It's over across that hill, down in the Smedley farmyard.
Here, I'll switch on a radio transmitter and call him. Attention, Sheriff Farrell. Man has been hiding in tree and gully over hill directly south of you. Is climbing down now.
He hears us. See? He's jumping out of the car and waving his arms. There. He's gotten some other men now. They're all running up the hill, see?
You're right, Jimmy. I'll dive down and keep making vertical turns right over Moto.
There come the sheriff and his men over the hill, Speed.
Yeah, Moto doesn't know which way to run. See, he's turning back. He'll run right into the sheriff.
Speed! They've got him!
Boy, oh boy, what a chase. At last it looks as though the elusive Moto has been captured. There's plenty of excitement in store, so don't miss the next episode in the air adventures of Jimmy Allen.